think it's especially right now in the way that our world is, to like include someone or exclude someone from the flock or a community is really potent.
This is great. Nicholas, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. Thanks for coming over.
Honestly, this is the most utterly charming film I've seen in a very long time, and I mean that genuinely. How did you get involved? What excited you about the Sheep Detectives?
Yeah, I mean, I was sent the script, kind of like any other script, but my agent did say, like, I really hope you like this. It sounds a little weird. It's talking sheep to solving a murder of their shepherd. I don't know. Just give it a read. But, Hugh was involved. Hugh was already attached. Emma Thompson was attached. Lord and Miller were producing it. Kyle was directing it, who's done very successful animated movies. So I was set up to like it, and then I started reading it, and I felt like I've never read anything like this. This is so hard to pull off, I feel like. And then the further the movie went on, and the more it kind of like was like achieved in terms of hitting these different messages and making you feel so deeply about these characters. The Winter Lamb, like I was just so impressed. And then obviously was like the part is so fun. The arc of the part is so fun. So I called my agent up right after, and I was like, dude, The Winter Lamb? It crushed me. This movie is so good. So I told him immediately I loved it. Let's move on it. And I had to prove actually that I could do a British accent before getting the part. So there was a hurdle to getting it.
Wow, okay. And yeah, you're right. Like this is such a wild blend of styles, and it's like the purest family film, and it's also kind of hardcore at the same time of its themes and just challenges. I love one of the lines that says, the real world is more complicated than a book. And I feel like that sort of sums up this film. And I wonder, for you as a performer, what do you think about the film's ability to bring complicated issues like the Winter Lamb and clouds, if you will, without saying too much, to kids? Because we don't get a lot of films like this.
We don't get a lot of films like this. I mean, people have brought up The Lion King in terms of like the sort of loss of a character that's similar to the one that happens in our movie, which shows you like how long it's been since like a really devastating death happens in a film, in a kid's film, I should say. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the way Craig wrote this and was able to go into all those levels and really, yeah, like you said, like hardcore, not afraid to go there, not afraid to like. I mean, we were in the premiere yesterday, and you could hear kids crying, some of them, and I think that's okay to say. I'm like, the movie does make kids cry. Like I cried when Mufasa died, right?
Yeah.
That was his dad's name, right?
Yeah.
Or was that the evil one? Mufasa.
No, Mufasa and Scar. Mufasa's
Scar
the
was
father.
Mufasa was the father. So like when Mufasa dies, it is crushing, but like in our movie, I think so much good is learned from it, and yeah, it feels like these messages are really relevant. I mean, the stuff that the Winter Lamb sort of stands for, if it were to be about people, it's like, minority groups or people who feel excluded, people with social anxiety, people who don't have a lot of friends, someone who hasn't met the right person and struggling on dating apps. I mean, the Winter Lamb really like stands for someone who feels not included, they don't have a community, they're not loved, they're not accepted for just who they are, and so there's something really like heartbreaking about that as a character, and the journey for that character, that part of the story, is like really moving, and I think it's what we can all identify with it, and I think it's especially right now in the way that our world is, to like include someone or exclude someone from the flock or a community, it's really potent. So I think it's the right time for us to be including that in a movie.
Yeah, and I'll say this to you too. You know, you talk about kids crying. I saw it at a press screening. There were no kids, and we were crying because it's such an emotional arc, and there's so many different things. Like you said, the Winter Lamb, the difficulty with this character's passing, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's complex. But I wanted to ask you about the flock, because that's such a key thing here in this film, and it sounds like such a simple concept, but the idea of "you are my flock" is so powerful. What does that mean to you?
Yeah. I know the moment you're talking about, and it's... I don't know. I mean, for me, I have a... I don't know what to talk about in terms of my personal... But I think the feeling of having a flock, knowing a group of people love you and accept you and want you there, I think is something I really identified with. I don't know, maybe just even speaking as an actor. I've been acting. I shot my first movie when I was 11 years old, and I've been doing this career for a long time. It's like 26 years. And there's a lot of rejection, and there's a lot of being told no, and being told we don't want you, just for kind of no reason sometimes. We don't want you, and you try really hard to get this job or that job or work with these people or those people, and, you know, or, I mean, even working on movies and being like wanting someone to hang out with you that's in your cat. I experienced this recently where I was like, I mean, on a movie recently where I was like, well, we're stuck in this city. I feel like we'll be friends. We're working together on this. I've always liked this person. And then for whatever reason, they just didn't want to get together when we're not shooting. And it's stuff like that. I feel like as an actor, you're such a like kind of lone wolf moving around, going to this city, changing all your, you know, all the people you're working with, and you're really in it like solo, and so I think it is important to have a flock, and sometimes I don't feel I do. So I don't know if that's too much to go into, but like I think it's kind of very relatable right now. I think in our times, in our social media doom scrolling days, and the difficulty it is to meet someone. I know people are really having a hard time on dating apps and stuff. I don't know why that's come into my head just in this conversation. I haven't mentioned it at all before, but I do think there's something about the time we live in where we don't all feel like we have a flock.
I feel like we're more isolated now than ever, even though we're more connected. Yep. And I think, so I hear what you're saying. I think it's bang on. Yeah. I feel like I got to ask you too. I know we're starting to run out of time, but I don't know how much you got to work with sheep or you didn't in the film. I'm assuming that you didn't have talking sheep on set. But what did you learn about working with sheep, or about sheep themselves, as a part of the film?
Yeah, I didn't work with any live sheep, unfortunately. But I guess I didn't know that there were so many personalities in a way. Like all of the sheep you meet in the movie, I'm like, oh, yeah, I think you just think of sheep as like one thing, and then lambs as like cute little versions. But in the movie, you'll see like there's all these different types of sheep, and I don't know, it's something I guess I didn't really know or think about. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's like that when they look at you, they have very soulful eyes. Sheep. I think there's something about those. It's one of those types of animals where you look at them and you really can feel a connection. I did some social media stuff with some actual sheep recently, and was able to like actually interact with them and not imagine them like when we were shooting. And they really are like so sweet and really like present when you look at them. So I don't know. guess I learned that, but the CG did a lot of good work to help people understand that in the movie. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Honestly, Nicholas, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. This is just the film is just incredible.
Thank you.
And I just felt you can't help but fall in love with it. You really can't. So
yeah,
thanks so
I
much.
appreciate that. I'm so glad you liked it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.